The less you care about what others think, the more your life will expand. The more you'll be able to step truly into your purpose and not only change your life, but every single person who's connected to you. Hey guys, I'm Cara Sherice, and welcome to the Pretty Passionate channel, where women on a mission to become everything that God has called them to be connect, evolve, and leap into action. You know, I was once a corporate girly working for powerhouse media brands until God called me out into my own purpose. And so over here we talk overcoming fear, elevating in faith, packaging your gifts, creating effective brand strategy and marketing so you can truly step into your purpose and thrive. Not only living a life of fulfillment, but increasing your income and your impact at the same time. So if this is your first time tuning in, then I want to say welcome. And if you are already a part of the Pretty Passionate tribe, then welcome back. Now, before we get into today's word and what I want to share, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that share button, because you never know whose life you may change by simply hearing the word that we're going to share today. So today I want to talk a little bit about courage. Courage is a really big word on this journey. Let me tell you, when I left my 9-to-5 in 2019, it took courage for me to leave, a stable 6-figure career that I had spent over 10 years at the time building, right? It took courage for me to separate myself from the titles and the associations with what I thought made me who I was. And it takes courage to continue on in this journey. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because I know some of you right now who God has led to this video, you're right at the point where maybe you are ready to take a leap, or you're feeling like God is calling you out of your own job and you're like trying to figure out how do you do it, and you're met with tons of fear. And then some of you are watching this video right now and you've already taken your leap. And you may be like in the middle of this journey, yet it's still not necessarily looking like what God promised you. And so because of that, you have tons of fear. And some of you right now, you've taken your leap, you have some level of success, but you feel God calling you higher. And so I want to take some time and talk a little bit to you about courage, because no matter where you are on this journey, it takes courage, right? Fear never stops. The energy to muster up the courage to keep going, it never stops. And if we look in the book of Joshua, right, we see God continuously telling Joshua, be courageous and don't be afraid, right? Be courageous, be courageous. Because God knew that this journey of stepping into the promise and what is ours is going to come with a lot of fear. And today I want to specifically talk about fear and having courage when it comes to what other people think. Because a lot of times, if we look at those things that tend to come up for us on this journey, things like imposter syndrome, self-doubt, right? All of those things are rooted in worrying about what other people think about us. And so I'm here to tell you, the minute that we stop worrying about what others think about us is the minute that we give ourselves permission to expand and our lives to expand. And I know this is something that we often hear, but I want to be a reminder today that you don't need anyone else's permission to walk in your purpose. If God has called you to it, then believe me when I tell you, He is going to make sure that it is done. And so it's not a question of whether this is going to work, right? And so this is where we get into the space where we have to shift our perspective. Perspective is everything. Change your perspective, you change your life. So we shift our perspective on this thing and we don't worry about, is this going to work? Am I going to be successful? You more so shift it in knowing it is going to work. It is going to be successful, especially if God called you to it. Your main focus is to have the courage to continue to step one step at a time and continue to push through the obstacles and the challenges that are going to come your way. So it's not a matter of if it's going to work. It's just a matter of how can you continuously build that courage muscle, right? Courage is a muscle that we have to exercise. And especially if you are journeying into territory that you've never journeyed into before. So quite naturally, fear is going to come up for you. And so don't think, oh, I'm not courageous. Oh, this woman's fearless. I'm not fearless. Because if I sat here and I told you that when I first took my leap back in 2019 and when God gave me the word in 2018 that I would have to do it, I would have said, I'm not a courageous person. I couldn't do that. I'm not fearless. I can't do that. But here we are, right? We've successfully done it. We're thriving. We're changing lives in the process. And so what I realized is that it's a muscle that I had to develop and that I had to continue to press forward and exercise and practice. And the beautiful thing is that God is not asking us to be perfect. He is just asking us to take the steps. And if we do the work, then he will do his part, right? If we do what we can do, then he will do his part. And so being courageous is not relying on your own confidence or your own ability. It's relying on God and having faith to say, okay, I, in my own strength and in my own ability, may not be able to do this, but I know that God can. And if he called me to it, then he's gonna make it so that I achieve this thing, because that is how he gets the glory. Right? Your friends and your family will look at you and be like, how the heck did you do that? You've always been, like so timid or so nervous or afraid, or you've always looked like this way, right? Being an executive in a corporate job, and now you're stepping into something completely different. And so they'll look a little closer and they'll say, wow. And as you continue to climb, this must be God. And so that's always the ultimate goal, right? God will call us out into waters and into spaces that are completely foreign to us, that we have to rely on him to do it. So don't think that you're any different, right? You're gonna have to rely on God to do this, to launch the business, to scale the business, to create something innovative, to travel the world, to be a #1 New York Best Times seller, right? Bestseller. You're gonna have to rely on God, because what he's calling you to is something completely different from what he has called other entrepreneurs to, from what he has called other successful people to. You're different, you're unique. And the minute that we can grasp that and understand that is when we can step out and say, this thing doesn't look like what everyone else is doing. And that's the beautiful part about it. When you know that you look completely different, when the world is doing one thing, but God is calling you to do something else, when the trends are doing one thing, but God is saying, do it this way, that's how you know that you're in alignment and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Your job is to have the courage that once he shows you what it is he's calling you to, for you to continue to take the steps forward. It takes courage to stop auditioning, striving, proving, and looking for outside validation. You are not man-made, you are God-made. Again, I'm Cara Sherice, founder and creator of Pretty Passionate and the Pretty Passionate Marketing Group. All of the information that you need to know about me, about the brand and what we do can be found in the description box below. And stay plugged in with us. Click below and register for our email list. We're doing tons of experiences, events, and opportunities to really build with each other, both in person and online. And you don't want to miss a beat. And also, if you are ready to say yes to finally stepping into your purpose or scaling the one that you've started, then I want to invite you to claim a free 7-day pass to our Pretty Passionate Insider Network, which is our official membership. And you can find that link below as well. I love you, and I will see you all in the next video.